Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In this video, we are going to develop a Chrome extension where we'll be leveraging a large language model to, solve some of the problem statements and see how we can leverage LLM to build a Chrome extension, and then we can, perform some tasks like web page summarization, phishing URL detection, writing automated emails, keyword extractions, chat with web pages and things like that. So how can we now bring this LLM capabilities into an extension, into a web extension? That's the agenda of this video, and I think that's a really demanding use case, I'll say, where we are looking at different ways we can leverage a large language model. One being building a desktop based application, the other one is a web based application, through microservices, APIs, extensions and things like that. I'll show you that how we can build a Chrome extension where we'll use probably GPT-3 model or GPT 3.5 for whatever model, and LLM, to build a service that will look at your URL, website URL, and it will tell you if that URL is phishing URL or if it's not a phishing URL. So that's one of the example. You can take the same code and just make a bit of changes in the functions for web page summarization through LangChain agents and things like that, right? That's the agenda. Now, if you look at here on my screen, I am on openai.com, and I already have built, and this is what we are going to build. So if you look at here, there's an icon, okay, in extension. If you look at my extension list, I have few extensions like uh, awesome screen recorder, colorgilla, blah blah blah, and this is my local extension because I haven't even deployed it anywhere. I'm not using it. I'm doing it locally in a developer mode, and this is what I'm going to show you that how you can build one. So if you look at here, it says URL phishing checker. Where you can check if that URL is like has phishing capability or not. Okay. Now on the backend side, we are not doing any rocket science here. It's pretty much prompting that we have done. You can take your use case depending on if you want to scrap a page, if you want to chat with any web page, if you want to extract some insights, graph charts, and things like that. You can do pretty much everything, similarly. Now, if I click, you can see it's already clicked. Now, if I come here and you can see it's the simple design, you can again improve the design. It says URL phishing checker, check current URL. It's your own Chrome extension, guys. Once you click on check current URL, I'm expecting, you can see it says no, and there's the output that we get. And there are a lot of ways you can customize this. But pretty simple. I just want to show you that how you can build one, and you can see this is the website openai.com. Now, URL phishing checker, there is a backend that is running, and then there is some of the JavaScript thing that is happening on the client side, which is on the front end side. We have combined both and then have built this Chrome extension where we are leveraging a large language model. Now, just imagine the capability of this kind of service, guys. I think you can have a lot of automations with these kind of services. So now let's jump in and see how we can build our own Chrome extension where we are using LLMs to solve some problems. All right. So to build this Chrome extension, guys, what we need is we need two folders. Okay, and just give me a moment. Yeah, you need two folders. One is for backend and the other is for front end. If you are a very good front end or a JavaScript developer, then you don't need a backend in Python. You will be able to do entirely everything in JS, and I recommend that. Okay, I if you want to build a very good Chrome extension, Python might not be the right backend language for that. But just because this channel is more focused on Python based programming and development, and that's why I'm keeping, because I know my most of my audiences are Python and they're beginners. You don't need any kind of knowledge to build this Chrome extension. It will be that simple. I'll show you. Okay, now you need two folders. As I said, you can see I have one folder that is over here, and that folder is let me just go back. You can see I have two folder. One is called phishing extension that has all my front end thingy. I will explain each. And then I have Chrome extension folder. This is my backend folder. Okay, now you can see both are opened here in VS Code. First we will talk about the backend, because the use case that we are looking at is very simple, that Imagine if you are working as a cyber security analyst, okay, and you want to perform a task where you have to find out, if even URL is has phishing capability or not. If you go and use that URL, it might be phishing, it might take over, corrupt or something like that, right? So now that's one of the use cases. Other use cases like web summarization, web chat pages, chat with GitHub and all of those things, right? For example. Now, if you look at here, we have a main.py, which is your Python file, and then you have a requirements.txt, and then I have env because we are using OpenAI model here, GPT 3.5. That's why I have an env file. Feel free to use open source LLM through Olama as well. That will work in the same way. Now, we have a requirements txt. In this requirement txt, you can see I have fast API, python.env, and OpenAI that I have to install. I have VNV, virtual environment, and I have installed everything. Now in main.py, I'm not going to write any code here, to be honest, because all these codes are available in all my previous videos, GitHub, but I'll explain that what we are trying to do. I will go to my gist. I have created different gist where I will just show you. So in main.py, I will go raw and control A, control C, and I'll come back to VS Code and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Now we are importing fast API, Pydantic for data validation, .env to handle the environment, operating system OS modules to handle OS and utils. Then we have OpenAI from OpenAI, and then we have some course middleware because this is important. You have to allow all access for now, if you are doing it locally. Then what we are doing, we are having a load.env. We are initiating the environment. We are saying, okay, now we are going to use it from our env file. And then we are initiating app, fast API. This is how you initiate it. Then we have defined some course. You can of cross origin. Now you can of course define in your way if you are deploying it somewhere, and that will be different. Now, right now it all access, and which is not secure, of course, not the best practice to do it, but just for demo purpose. In line 20, we are doing os.envan, which is environment, OpenAI. This is how I have defined it in my env file. So it's like OpenAI underscore API key equals double quotation, and that's where your API keys goes in. Now, here I'm saying get env and just fetch it. Now, client, I'm initiating the OpenAI class, line number 22, and then I have a very basic base model. For you can of course, I think you can extend this for better data validation. And then I have only single function, one function, which is check URL, check underscore URL. This is my endpoint. And I'm saying, hey, look, you are going to get a URL check request. Okay, that we have defined it. I will show you where. And then I'm saying prompt, check, and I have a very simple prompt. Check if the following URL is a phishing site. You have to answer in yes or no. I am looking for binary response only. Phishing URL is request.url. Now this is my phishing URL. And then I have a completion chat completions module from OpenAI. I'm writing a system prompt, and then here it goes your prompt with the URL, and then I'm just returning the result. I'm saying completion, which is a list index. So from choices first one, look at the message and then give me the content of that message. That's how I'm returning it. That's what you have to do for main.py, guys. Nothing else, for this simple problem. Now you can, of course, you can do other logics, other problem statement that you are solving. You can just bring it over here. Now this is done, and you have to do the same way. So let me just run this. Now you have to run it in the same way that you run. You have to do uvcon, and my file name is main, and then app name is app. So I'm going to do uvcon main app. Okay, that's what I'm going to do here. Now it's running, so my backend is running. Now I have to take care of the front end, and then we'll show that how we can load this extension and just have a real feeling that okay, we have a Chrome extension. Of course you can deploy it and do it at scale as well, but that is not in this video. Now, let's go back to GitHub gist, and I will go now in my front end thingy. Now, in front end, I will tell you a few things that you should know. You need three files, which might be required in 95% of cases. First file is manifest.json. Okay, now see manifest.json as the metadata file. It's a metadata for the Chrome extension. You defined some, config, some route, some descriptions, some versions, and things like that. It contains important information such as extension's name, description. Like for example, if I come over here and show you one of the extensions, you can see these are the extension I am using right now. And if you look at Adobe Acrobat, for example, you will see the title of that. Then you will see a description of that. These are all defined in the manifest file. I will show you how we define that. Okay, now this is manifest.json. Now it's important because it you also define a lot of permissions in that manifest, because then you are giving permission to your web browser to get in that API calls from backend and things like that. So let's see how we can have a simple manifest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back on gist and just copy the manifest JSON for this problem statement. And let me just do a control C, come back over here and just paste now. Okay. Now if you look at here what I'm saying manifest version 3. I'm giving some version and I'm saying name, which is URL phishing checker. That's the name that you saw when I was showing you the demo. And then the version, and then there's a permission of active tab, which is important, guys, because now this permission, and you can keep on adding permissions whatever you need from on that front end on the client side or in the web browser. You need to define this in permissions. Now excuse me, basically it access the current tabs information and inject scripts into it, because we need the website URL, and with that website URL we need to fetch it from there and pass it to our backend, which is a fast API running API, and then that will give you the result, and then again that goes back to the front end. We publish it right now. So permission that you see active tab is a restrictive permission. Okay, it's compared to broader permission that allow access to all tabs data. We are not looking at all tabs data. Okay, so this is what we are doing in permission. Now we have a background, which is your act service worker. We don't need background JS in for this video. It's basically the lifetime of an extension. That's what you do in background JS. It keeps doing a lot of things in background. You can define a lot of things in that. It's a separate thread from your web pages. Okay, so I'm not doing anything with background. It's a bit of complex topic to do that. Yeah, but it can listen to browser events and things like that. But just ignore it for now. So but you can define background.js and keep nothing inside it. So you can see I have a background.js, but I don't have anything inside that. Okay. So far I think it's clear. We have background, we have permissions, we have versions, we have name, and then we have action. Now action is simple because in action we are saying these are the action that one has to do. Now if you look at the action, one is popup.html, where we define the design of that HTML, and that HTML file I'll show you in a bit. Let me first cover the icon. And I have a very bad icon, guys, by the way, icon.png. You have to change an icon. I just downloaded it from internet. You can see this is an I thingy, but you have to choose. Now icon is nothing but these icons. If you look at extensions, these are the icons that you see. Like if you look at here, the icons are appearing like in this format. This is the icon that you need to do that. Now let's go back here. Now let me control save, and we are done with manifest JSON. So see, manifest JSON is more like which is a config file that handles all of your instructions, permissions, background actions, and things like that. Now we have the other file called popup.html, and let's go to popup.html, and you can see there is nothing here. I'll just copy the code from my gist. I'm not going to write this code, it's very pretty standard. Okay, so I'll just copy what I'll explain. Now in the pop-up HTML, it's an HTML file thingy, but I'll explain what we are doing as well. Now here, pop-up HTML control V. Now if you look at over here, we have uh, bootstrap demo. It's a bootstrap thing. I can change the name, probably, but it's fine. So it's a bootstrap because I'm using bootstrap 5.3 CDN just to make it a bit responsive, or to design it in a faster way. And then I have a style display and blah blah blah, and then there's a text center card. You can see it's a P4, and there are a H5 title. Then there is a button that where you click on check current URL, and then basically it fetches the result. Now what we are doing, we also have a popup.js where we are writing the JavaScript code, and that is important because we have to fetch the backend from there, right? So I think that is important. Now let's go to popup.js. This is not that, of course everything is crucial, otherwise you will not be able to see the results and also click on that. Now let's go back to the last thingy, which is popup.js, and I'm just going to copy, control C, come back over here and just control V. Now if we look at what we are doing, we are saying, and I have did a bit of documentation. Okay, so if you look at, we have a get element by ID check button that has that's an event listener. So once you click on that, okay, you can see, let me just show where we are fetching. So if you look at this part, okay, just focus on this part. We are fetch, we have defined our API route, which is check URL over here, and then we are using post method. We are doing post, and you can see that, and then we are getting a JSON stringify, and we are doing it. Okay, now we also are handling the errors. So if, for example, if there's nothing that is working, so maybe that will give you a say that error checking URL, we're not able to do that. And here we are seeing the result. So if that is uh, not phishing, okay, then it's success, and if it's a phishing, then it's a danger. So it will give you the color like green and red and things like that. So this is what we are doing over here. You can see we are using await, we are doing await fetch. So we are using the fetch method in JavaScript to connect with the fast API backend and get the result. And this is some, handling of errors and things like that. This is what we are doing. Now your code is ready. So you have popup.js, you have popup.html, you have manifest.json, and you have an icon PNG and background.js. These are the 5 files that I need from the front end thingy. And in the backend thing, in backend, we need only these things. Now, what we have to do now, how should we use it? So you can see that backend is running over here. You can find it out over here on my screen. Now what we have to do is we have to go to extensions. You can see Chrome extensions. If you can't find it out, you have to click on this three dot in your Google Chrome browser, and you have to click on extensions and then manage extensions. I'm already in manage extensions, so I'm not going to click that. Once you click it for the first time, you will see a developer mode option over here. This is what the developer mode is. So you have to, for the first time, if you are coming, that will be turned off. You have to make it on. Okay, so you can see this is on for me. And now you have three options. One is load unpacked, the other is pack extension, the other is update. You have to click on load unpacked. So let's click on load unpacked, and then you have to click on that front end folder, entire folder that we have your JavaScript thingy, and then just click on select folder. Once you can click on select folder, you will see that your extension is up and loaded over here. You can see URL phishing checker, and then you have your ID, blah, blah, blah. And you can see its extension may read and change site information or run in the background. It gives you a bit of info. Now, let's come back on OpenAI. Okay, and you click on this extensions, and you can see my extension over here, URL phishing checker. Let's click on that. I will basically pin it. And now once I will click, you will see that our extension is loaded. Okay, so it's URL phishing checker. If same way you can have web page summary. So for example, you are on any website and you want to summarize that, or you want to chat with that, so you can also bring a rag directly. Just think it like that. It's so simple. Now you can just write a fast API code and create extension and use it. Or of course you can deploy and make money also, right? You can do some limitations, bring Stripe and things like that into this. Now let's click on check current URL and see what happens. Once I click on check current URL, you can see it says no. Okay, so this URL is no. Okay, now similar way you can also look at other URLs. If you want to, I don't know if there's any phishing URL samples, you can try it out yourself as well. Now, but this is what I wanted to do, guys. I wanted to show you that how you can build a Chrome extension leveraging LLMs to solve problems. Okay, or for some n number of use cases that we discussed. Okay, now this entire code is available. Both the front end, the back end, go on, extend it further. You can have a lot of integrations. You can bring the payment gateways here, Stripe, PayPal. You can also make money. For example, if you are doing something really great with this, for example, why not fetching data from PubMed or Archive or some things like that, right? You can do a lot of things with this. Now, this is what I wanted to show. So if you have any thoughts, feedbacks, please let me know in the comment box. Okay, and if you like the content I'm creating, please hit the like icon. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel and share the video and channel with your friends and to peer. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.